Rockeyez would like to welcome Freddy Ordine. Hey man, Weapons of Anew. Tell me a little bit about the band, how it started, and so on.
We started it in November of 2015. I think it was September, November, something like that.
Right.
I had been playing with Kris, the drummer, for a little bit. He was in like a local band, and they had asked me to fill in, so I filled in with him, and it just kind of really wasn't up to like what I really wanted to be doing. But I really liked playing with Kris, so I grabbed Kris. I had known Reno from another band back in the day.
Right.
So I called him up, and then we were auditioning singers and looking for guys, and Ray's name kept coming up, and everybody's like, yo, you got to check Ray out. You got to check Ray out. And I was like, it wasn't even like the band Spread Eagle. I said, we're looking to do something a little heavier and more modern.
Right, yeah.
And they're like, dude, just check him out. So finally I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's check him out. So I get on the phone with Ray. Him and I instantly click, like on a personal level, on a what we want to do level, on everything. And he came in, dude, and I knew instantly he was the guy.
Right, yeah.
And that was it, man. We started writing, and happily ever after, I guess.
Cool. Now, did you start like a recording process with Axiom?
Back in the day, yeah. I mean, shit, that's back in 91, 92, I think that was.
Right.
We were signed to a label called Fever Records.
Uh-huh.
They had the Fat Boys and stuff like that. So we were the only metal band on that label. I always had this niche for finding these fucked up labels that want to, experiment with rock and metal, and they want to sign us, and we do it, and it just sucks.
Right, yeah.
But yes, we were signed to them back in the early 90s. I was young, man. I was like, I think I was 17, 18 years old when I did those records.
Right. And then right after that, did you go to Havochate, and I think in 98?
98, yep, I started that in 98. So I did the Axiom thing until probably like 95, 96, something like that, and I took a couple of years off just to kind of hang out and, get a job and try to be like a normal person.
Right.
And I missed playing. It's it's the same story. It's always going to be that way for my life. I think I love music to death.
Right.
But you get burnt out. Because I put everything into it. Like I don't know how to half be into it and do it like a hobby. So if I'm doing it, I jump in with both feet, and everything else in my life suffers.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. But, go ahead.
Ken?
And Havochate basically had a good following because you had 3 releases or 2 releases and a demo.
We did 2 records and a demo, and then we were on a couple of comps and stuff like that. We did a lot of touring. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. I had a good time with that band. That was the final incarnation of that was me, Greg Christian from Testament, John Deddy that played with Slayer and Testament. We had found this awesome singer from down in Louisiana, this guy Timmy. Right. And actually this guy Mara that was starting to play with Weapons, but it just wasn't a fit.
Right, yeah. Well, that was basically Thrash days, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And after that, Weapons of Anew, and you got the collision of Love and Hate, and
yes,
that's coming out, pretty soon, right?
2 weeks. The 15th it comes out, so I think 14 days from today.
Right. Now, how is the recording process with that? I mean, you added an extra guitarist, right?
Yeah, Kris came in. Kris came in actually after the record was recorded.
Right.
We had started demoing this shit pretty much like right when we started playing together. Like we recorded everything. We have our own studio at my place, right. So we were recording right from the beginning. And me and Ray nitpicked the shit out of everything until we were 100% happy with it.
Right.
And so it was like a year and a half or 2 years of really kind of just going through it. And I was just burnt out of being in the studio. I just wanted to play guitar. I just wanted to get in, do my parts, and that was it. So I called Murphy, who I know since I'm like 17, 18 years old. Called him up. I was like, hey, bro, I'm a little stuck on this record. I need a fucking hand. Can you drop what you're doing and come save my life? And he did, man. He dropped everything he did, and he came up in November of last year. So we started tracking November. We tracked November, December, part of January. Then we went out on the Alter Bridge tour. James had gotten sick with like a gallbladder thing or something like that. Something was wrong with his stomach. I can't remember. So he flew up, finished guitar solos for me, but he was just in no shape to mix it.
Right.
So he was actually trying to push it off to Chris Norris, who actually became our other guitar player. Kris was doing some editing and stuff like that, and James said to me, he's like, "Are you guys looking for another guitar player?" And I said, "Yeah, maybe. I'm open to it." I said, "Who do you got in mind?" And he said, Chris Norris. He used to play in Darkest Hour. And I had known his name and stuff like that, but I never knew Kris.
Right.
And it was the same thing. Once him and I got on the phone, and then once we got in the room together, it was a fit. Playing with Kris is like we've been playing together for fucking ever, so it's comfortable.
Wow. So tell me a little bit about OK Records. OK Good
OK
Records.
Good?
Yeah.
That's owned by, here we go. It's owned by a guy by the name of Jürgen Cordeless. He did a majority of like dance music. He has this huge thing. It's like a kids thing. It's called Gummy Bear.
Yeah.
It's like this little green dancing character. It's like one of the biggest things on YouTube. So Jürgen did that. I know Jürgen from back in the Havochate days. He used to have a label called Indecent Media, and he has Radical Records. And he helped us out on the second record. And we always stayed in touch for the past, 15 years. He's, even when I wasn't playing for 10 years, he'd always call me and say, you need to be playing. What are you doing? If you're going to do anything, let me know.
Right.
So he heard the stuff when we were demoing it, and he wanted to be involved right from the beginning.
Wow. That's
So
cool.
it's been cool. So the record comes out in 2 weeks, so we'll see how he does. But so far, we're happy. He's kind of like family, Jürgen. We know him so long.
Right.
It's like a comfortable thing.
Wow. You have 8 tracks on the record, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's 8.
Yeah. My favorites were, well, definitely Killshot. That's the video, right?
Yep.
That's a killer song. I love Speed, and then you threw a little curveball with This Moment. I wasn't expecting that type of tune on here. Which This Moment's probably my favorite song.
Oh, right on, man. Thank you.
So but I mean, Killshot really is a great start to the CD, and as it goes down, it just keeps on getting better. And This Moment and Undone are both great tracks, but still, This Moment really shows a lot of diversity in the band, from being really kind of like heavy to slowing things down a little bit and then getting back to heavy. Can you tell me anything about that track, since it's my favorite? This Moment.
I had a couple just like little riffs kind of noodling around, like the chorus riff I'd kind of been screwing with a little bit. I was playing it on the steps in the rehearsal room, and Ray heard me playing it and came over and started humming this melody line, and literally that song came together quick, man. Me and Ray kind of have that spark. I mean, we're really lucky in that sense. So it's like we're kind of meant to be together.
Right.
I'll have something in my head, and I hear it, and then Ray comes over and just does it without me saying anything to him. And he just hummed this gorgeous melody line, and I was like, that's it. That's perfect. And next thing you know, I wrote the verse, and he wrote the lyrics for it, and away it went.
Wow.
So when we started this band, it was, I came from a heavier background. He came from a more like, I guess like rock background.
Right.
And we didn't want to do anything exactly like what we had done. We just wanted to kind of be uninhibited. It's just whatever comes out of us, that's what the band's going to sound like.
Right, yeah. Wow. I mean, when I was even talking to Ray, he's very proud of this record, first off. And second, he says I know Ray since Spread Eagle first did their very first show, at a place called the Deck House in, I guess, down the shore in Jersey. And I also went in the studio with them in New York when they recorded the album. But I mean, he even told me, this is the most diverse thing in music that he has done compared to Spread Eagle. And he said it wasn't a stretch. It just was, I guess, different.
Yeah.
And he was very happy.
For Ray, it was like a big trying to get him comfortable thing. Once we could get, Ray was so beat up like back in the day, and like that's how records were done back in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
Producers came in and they just kicked the shit out of the artist. They didn't care, how you were feeling that day, nothing.
Right.
So Ray had kind of had these walls up. And for the first couple of months, I couldn't get Ray to sing in the studio unless it was just him and I.
Right, yeah.
And once me and Ray were able to break down that barrier, and Ray would just be Ray and just Ray, just do you. Just, dude, you're awesome at what you do. Just do it.
Right.
I said, I'm not here to critique you. Just do you. And once we got Ray to just do Ray, this psychopathic, to me, it's like there's like 3 Rays. He's got all these different voices, and it just all finally came out of him.
Right,
so I'm super proud to see it and just see how it came together, and then watch him listen to it and watch him, actually be able to enjoy it, which is really cool.
Right, yeah. How'd you get hooked up on the tour for Alter Bridge?
That came through our manager. Michael Mazer had, I don't know, honestly, I don't really know 100% how it happened. Right. I know he called us and said, he'd asked us for a list of bands that we'd like to tour with.
Right. And
Alter Bridge was on that list. And he called me, I think it was like the day or two before Christmas or after Christmas. And he's like, do you guys want to do the Alter Bridge tour? And I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't we, And he's like, well, I think we can make it happen. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I said, we've never even played a live show.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
Right.
And he's like, I think I can make it happen. So I think it was just a perfect timing thing. It was the holidays.
Right.
They needed another band for tour. We needed to be on tour. And Michael somehow put it together, man.
Wow.
So it was our first show. We played in front of a couple thousand people. I remember hugging Ray before we went on. I'm like, fuck, did you believe this? He's like, this is awesome. And, we just never looked back, man. We just went out and did what we do.
Wow. How'd you hook up with Michael Mazur? I know him about maybe 20 years now.
Yeah, I know Michael probably about the same time.
Yeah.
I know Michael from back in the Axiom days. He was still doing PR work, I think, for Megaforce at the time.
Right.
So I just kind of known him through like mutual friends, and then when I started doing Havochate, this producer guy that we had known, Tim Gillis.
Right.
We knew we were looking for a manager, and he said, "I got this awesome guy." He said, he'll do whatever it takes for you.
Right.
And Michael came into the studio, and he's been with me ever since. I mean, again, even when I stopped playing 10 years ago, Michael's always been a mainstay in my life.
Right.
He's always pushed me to get back into playing, and he's been here ever since. So I call him like the sixth member of the band.
Cool. Now you have a lot of endorsements, ESP guitar and other endorsements, and I noticed on the press photo, the photos were done by Frank White.
Yes,
which is my mentor, because I do photography, and all you had to do is bring my name up to him, and actually he managed me with photography.
Oh, right on, man.
With photography, cool. He did a lot of running around for me, and so if you do talk to him, just say, I appreciate him, because I know you don't have a Facebook page or nothing, so. Do
you have his number and stuff?
I got his number. I got his number. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, I love him, dude. I know Frank a long time too.
In so many ways. So what's going to happen after the release of the album?
We're going out on tour with Tesla. I think we're doing 12 dates or 14 dates, something like that. That starts September 18th or 9th. I think September 19th. That starts in Pennsylvania.
Right.
We're running out with them, New York, Alabama, Kentucky, Florida, which I'm excited to play because I have houses down there, so I'm excited to finally play for my friends down there.
Cool.
Yeah, we're doing that tour. I think we get off of that one in October. There's nothing really planned for the middle part of October, and then we're going back out in November with Michael Graves, who used to be the singer for the Misfits.
Right, yes, yeah.
Yeah, so us and them are going to go out and kind of do like a little co-headline thing. Smaller rooms, probably 400 or 500 people rooms or something like that around the country. So It should be fun. I think we're going to be out on that for like a month and a little bit. We'll be out with that.
Right.
And then next year, we're already looking for next year.
Cool. Have you already started writing for the next album?
Yeah. Me and Kris have been bouncing ideas back and forth. Ray yells at me all the time, "Come on, just record it and send it to me. Come on. I'm like the worst with that shit. I have this awesome studio in my house, and I fucking never record anything. I'm like, no, I remember it. And of course I forget it.
Right, yeah. Wow.
But yeah, we're starting to go through new stuff already.
Wow. Who came up with the cover?
There was a guy, it was a competition that Michael had found. It's called 99 Prints. They put it out to like a contest, and it goes to like 15,000 artists, and then a whole bunch of people submit. So I think we probably got probably like 300 or 400 different kind of ideas.
Right.
We just have to give them a synopsis of like what we wanted it to look like, what was our vision of the record. So I just kind of laid out, it was, perfect collision of love and hate. Like there's things that you love so much, but at the same time you hate them, and just kind of when that finally explodes. And this guy just hit it right on the head. As soon as we saw it, we were like, that's the one. All of us knew right away. So I think the guy's name is Frederick something. I can't remember his last name.
Right. Wow. Well, what are your hopes for the rest of the year after the tour? Tour, and tour some more.
Cool. So we love being out playing. I mean, as long as we're out playing, we're happy.
Right, yeah.
So, our personal life suffer because of it, like, but that's normal.
Yeah.
But at least we get to be out loving, doing it and loving it. And we're lucky in the band in the sense that we're all really close. We're really close friends. So it's not like you ever get lonely on tour. You're always with your family. So it's cool, so that kind of helps a lot.
Cool. How'd you come up with the name for the band?
We were kind of throwing around, like, there was a shitload of names that came up, and I think Ray actually said Weapons of Anew, and that one just kind of stuck with me, and I was like, Ray, that's perfect, dude. I said, this is like a new musical weapon for you and I.
Right, yeah.
This is like a perfect thing, we can do whatever we want, and this band's going to be a machine. It's going to be like a little weapon.
Right.
And the more we kind of started throwing around, the more we were like, yeah, that's definitely it.
Wow. Excellent.
So that was it.
Cool. Freddy Ordine, Weapons of Anew, The Collision of Love and Hate. Congratulations on the release in a couple 2 weeks. And where can people pick up the release?
It's digital only from September 15th through November 4th, I think, and then November 4th it actually hits stores and everything. Between now and then, they can get physical CDs from us at the shows.
Right.
But the actual physical CD doesn't come out until November. I think it's November 4th is when it actually hits streets.
Cool. Has anybody talked about vinyl?
Yeah, actually, we are talking about it. So there's talks that we're going to do a limited edition run.
Cool.
So, yeah, we're pushing for it.
Well, good to talk to you, Freddy. Would you like to say anything to
Brian,
the fans out there?
just come check the record out and come check us out live.
Thanks a lot, man.
That's it.
Go ahead. I appreciate it.
All right. No, Brian, thank you very much. We'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.
All right, bro. Bye.